Science jerks. Science jerks. Science jerks. The rate of change in acceleration of science. Science jerks.
Welcome to the Science Jerks. I'm your host, Dave Chacho. With me is your other host, Robert Chan.
Hi.
And we are back with our old guest.
Oh, yeah.
I like this.
He's used up.
He was
I
once
don't
new.
like this.
and
Rough
now
trade.
he-
I don't like...
when we started
Guys, I'm
recording-
right here, guys. I can hear what you're saying. You're saying it into microphones.
He had black hair when we started recording. Now it's gray. We've been here a long time, folks.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting episode 2. He's now old and decrepit.
My hair is gray because I saw Chan without a shirt on.
Oh!
That'll happen. That'll happen.
And you know what? Without his shirt on, actually, he has taped to himself a bunch of gray hair dye. I don't know why he keeps it. I think he's committed crimes. So I just use it in my hair, and now look at me. I'm a silver fox.
Asterios Kokkinos, everyone. I don't think I've actually said his name yet. Welcome to the show.
Thank you,
Yeah.
boys. Thank you, science jerks.
Last time he just jumped in with it like he'd never been on a podcast before. It was like, hey, I'll tell you my name, rather than letting us introduce him.
Yeah, last time
is
you guys
proper.
took 8 minutes to get to my name. And last time someone had something to do after this podcast.
Oh, thank heavens that's not the case now. So, you good for another 3 hours?
Absolutely. I'm good for it if the audience isn't.
Let's do
Let's go.
3 more hours of science.
Alcohology.
So here's the thing.
What's the thing?
Beer wasn't beer originally. We made beer what beer is, and in a sense,
It doesn't
beer
just grow on
made
trees?
Us. Jan
Interesting.
here with Chacho and Asterios.
Beer made us, huh?
There's actually an interesting book called The Botany of Desire, where Michael Pollan talks about how we have influenced certain plants. The apple, marijuana, the potato,
The strawberry.
One other.
Actually, there's not just one other. Like
I'm
thousands of
talking,
plants.
no, I'm
like
talking about the book itself.
Oh.
The specific book.
corn.
And it talks about...
Like corn used to be a grass, and
Right.
well, corn is a grass, and it used to be teeny tiny until we started selecting the biggest ones.
Well, the point of the book is not necessarily that, because that is what we understand, is that we make plants into something else, something that we like. But what we don't really think about is that the plants, in turn, they are trying to survive. So the ones that are that make us the happiest are the ones that survive.
They
So in
affect
a
our
sense,
evolution as well.
They are cultivating us right back.
Beer cultivates me all the time. Beer cultivates me to have the guts to finally stand up to that bully Robert Chan and tell him, no. No, I didn't.
Well, have another couple, and we'll see how it goes.
Beer's cultivating these pants to be tighter and tighter every day. These little pants are mine. They make me depressed.
Beer has evolved me into a human that has gotten turned down by thousands and thousands of women.
Women is a numbers game, though. You gotta go after a lot of ladies. You gotta go after a lot of ladies.
Yep. And I can safely say that after getting turned down thousands of times, I've gotten laid a couple.
Good on you.
This
mate.
is depressing. This is sad radio. People are listening to this podcast because they're at work having a tough day. All they want to do is
What we're
hear
trying
about
to-
Dave
what we're trying to
Chaccio,
bring to them-
ladies, man.
We're trying to make
That's all
them...
they want to hear. They want to hear your fuck stories.
No,
Dave.
we want them to feel like there's somebody worse off than them, and it's us.
Yeah, this is like
is what
opening
we
up
bring.
a wormhole to Sadvania.
This is what we bring to the listeners. It could be worse.
I feel like that's what people come to science podcasts for.
Yeah, because when I listen to Radiolab, I'm like, these two losers.
You go, at least I'm not a science
At
podcaster.
least I can pronounce my name.
At least I'm not Jab Ababrob.
Robert
Krowich.
Yeah, Just change your name to Stephen Jenkins and Tommy Jones. Radio Labbers.
Called dibs on Tommy Jones. Sorry, Steve.
I call Neil deGrasse Tyson. So what is this? So booze has affected our evolution.
Yeah, when flowering plants emerged in the Cretaceous era, there were species of yeast that evolved to eat that fruit. And what they did, their little invention, was to not completely consume the sugars. They partially consumed it, and they excreted ethanol, which had the effect of killing bacteria. But now we have the question of, it killed bacteria, so obviously it worked for the yeast. Then we started eating it and like, oh, shit, that's awesome. And the question is, was it originally a good feeling or not? Because if it was a good feeling, then obviously we're going to keep going towards that. Or was it something that we had just sort of, we're going to because like, oh, it's fruit.
We found that, or these researchers have found that primates are attracted to the scent of alcohol.
Not just primates, fruit flies.
Other animals too, but especially primates, us included. When you smell alcohol, a little thing clicks in your brain that goes, that's good. And possibly, they don't know exactly the reason, but possibly the reason is because you know that if the fruit has started to become alcoholic, then it's ripe.
Right, exactly.
And so it's good to eat. Also, it makes you feel invincible.
Yes, it turns you into a superhero.
Yeah, it makes you super handsome.
A Neanderthal superhero.
When you give it to someone else, it makes you super handsome.
Suave and attractive to the ladies.
Well, isn't it true that, like, don't primates try to drink a glass of red wine a day?
That's what primate doctors have been saying for a while.
I've heard about that.
They haven't managed to master getting the pinky out, though.
Oh,
so
well, then what's the point of being alive?
Grabbing the glasses and just gunning it. That's You gotta let it air out first, right?
Animals.
Come on.
Do they not use aerators?
Straight out the bottle? Fuck.
Oh my Lord, Jesus Christ.
So the idea is that now we cultivate yeast. We take yeast and make specific ones. Originally, we didn't have that power. We just like, oh, hey, this canteen full of wheat has turned into beer. Let's take a little bit of that beer and pour it into other wheat, and then that becomes a thing. So we were just sort of subject to the whims of the yeast. And then eventually we figured out the reasons why it made wheat awesome.
Yeah, we showed that wheat who's boss. Yeah.
And
we slapped that wheat around a little, Punnett Square style.
At the same time,
recessive alleles, punch in the face. Dominant alleles, high five.
Now it's an interesting question as we watch the evolution of the yeast to become more enjoyable for primates. Some primates, which is to say some humans, are beginning to develop genes that don't work with alcohol anymore. A lot of East Asians don't have the gene that turns ethanol into, it doesn't break it down properly, so what happens is they get sick and they don't want to drink. So the human species may be moving away.
Those Asians?
Yeah.
Chan?
Nope.
You know what? I saw this. I actually saw this happen the other night. Yeah, I saw an Asian guy throw up all over the stage at the UCB theater because he shotgunned two beers in 45 seconds.
Right. It may also be because he's like 105 pounds and 21
might not have to do with being Asian.
Pretty sure it's his Asianness, which is what we call that guy, his Asianness.
Asianness.
My little brothers are Asian as well, and when they drink, they get real red-faced. We're all Asian and
Do you
Greek.
get that, Chan?
No.
And I don't get it either. I got lucky.
You don't have the don't drink gene?
Well, no.
So
but
what they're saying
partially
in this,
I'm a halfie. That
the responsibility gene. We don't have it. We're gonna die.
So they're saying that the don't drink gene is becoming more and more prevalent in human evolution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
is this because Asians are reproducing too much?
It's because Asians are higher up on the evolution.
Do we have
ladder.
to do something about the Asian incursion, the Asian invasion?
Oh, I see. So what you're saying is because we drink too much, we have too many children. So the way to curtail that is to stop drinking so much.
No,
really?
No. I'm saying
that's honestly not
they're
what he's
threatening
saying.
the species by
having
spreading
too many babies.
by
Is that
spreading
what you're
the
saying?
gene.
You're bringing your fucking white racism into this. Your white supremacist.
It's
views.
not racist to say that we should exterminate all Asians.
How many
Is
of
it?
these podcasts eventually reach eugenics?
Science podcasts about 1 in 4.
I'm pretty sure.
Our podcast, we touch on it a lot.
I think
To be
I'm pretty
fair,
sure you do.
I have brought up
Pretty sure you do.
eugenics on more than one occasion. I am generally in favor of it.
Genesiology.
DNA hard drives coming soon. This is Chacho with Chan and Asterios, and we've heard before about encoding information into DNA. What they do is they are taking, the digital ones and zeros and turning them into the little building blocks of DNA, the A's, G's, C's, and T's.
I hope to encode some dick jokes into my DNA sometime soon.
They'll last forever.
It's and it's it's subtle. And it's not right out there like, hey, my pee-pee, blah, 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 blah. But you know that you're walking around
And they're
you
just
got some dick jokes
in
on
your
you.
but someone has to actually steal a strand of your hair
Yep.
and analyze
Decode my genome,
your
my
entire
entire
genome,
genome.
and then read it from beginning to end, and then they'll get the joke. That is a very subtle joke.
Well,
Super.
here's what I've heard, that like a single strand of human hair can store up to 2 billion dick jokes. Or when we're talking about the size of my dick, only 1 billion.
Yes,
I've heard.
those and many more will be available in my hair strand.
So do you ever, so to speak, spread your genetic seed and then go, get it? So what they did recently was they were able to change the algorithm so they can update the amount of information they can store in DNA.
Because they figured this out last year, but it was really very rudimentary.
Last
and
year they
broke
encoded
down
an
the-
entire book. Guess whose book it was, by the way?
I'm
From
gonna go
L-
with the autobiography of Malcolm X.
And I'm going to say, just to be ironic, the Bible.
Ooh, the monster at the end of this book.
Was it
No.
Episode 1 of X-Force. Episode 1. Issue 1 of X-Force.
first appearance of Cable?
No?
No, Cable appeared
I
in New
know.
Mutants. Oh.
I'm dumb. I'm not a smart guy.
You may remember from our previous podcast about the Neanderthal baby, the Harvard researcher George Church is back again, and he encoded
Guess who's
an
back?
entire one of his books.
Oh, one of his books.
Yeah.
That's what I would
It was
do.
only a
Nice.
7-word book. It was,
Man, this
I'm
is
looking
pretty
for
great.
an adventurous woman.
I like that guy writes half a tweet, and he's like, that's a book.
So what they've been able to do now is store 2.2 petabytes into a gram of DNA.
Hey, you keep those petabytes away from my kids.
They have
One
the
point
right
21
to live on
petabytes.
your street.
Yeah, but they better knock on my door.
They have to. The petabytes have to come by and tell you that they're petabytes. So they're saying they can store like 500,000 DVDs into 1 gram of DNA. So that's like, for Americans' reference, is about the size of a gram of weed. That's how I know where the gram is.
That's a mess of DVDs.
That's
That's
a
like all the DVDs.
shitload of DVDs. That's like all.
That's like Region 1
DVD.
and Region 2
That
combined.
is all of Doctor
including
Who.
all of the Star Wars re-releases.
That's most of Doctor Who.
Yeah, you're right.
Those
You're
50
going to need
years.
2
You got
grams.
a lot of episodes. You need 2 grams
You're
of
gonna
DNA.
need 2 grams of DNA to store
But-
all of Doctor Who.
You can only fit 1 copy of the extended cut of Lord of the Rings.
That's a good cut.
Bam. Zing, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure The Hobbit is going to take 3 grams by the end of it. Even though the book takes up 1/10 of a gram. What the hell, guys?
So they need new storage possibilities, new storage technologies for such things as the Large Hadron Collider, which actually produces like a petabyte of information
So they're just going to be injecting it into
every
people, is what you're
day.
saying.
I want to know what crazy creatures these books worth of DNA that they're creating would create.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Put all of 50 Shades of Grey inside a lady. He's going to have a good time. Those books are pretty sexy, guys. You edit things out, right, guys?
For you, the policy is going to be pretty liberal.
Look, all I'm saying is this. Just cut out every other second. And I think you'll be
We're just
halfway
going to let
there.
it run. We're just going to let it run.
So they need new storage materials for all these petabytes of information they're coming up with. And, using DNA is going to probably
Be the best thing ever.
be in large use in the future.
All we are
because
just giant hard drives anyway, you guys. I mean, we're just made of DNA, which is just information telling itself to replicate. We're just giant thumb drives, giant Hello Kitty-shaped thumb drives in the scheme of the universe.
I wonder if are they self-replicating, these DNA books that they're making?
Oh, yeah. That's
So
a
you
good
can
question.
eventually become a book.
So
Yeah.
Made of books.
Yeah, when the DNA expresses itself, at the end of the day, you could be any one of the 7 Harry Potter books.
Dude.
well,
why-
maybe the
now
Harry
you-
Potter books will become self-sufficient in their own right, and then they'll take over a contingent of the earth. They'll lead their own human rights.
I want to be a giant MP3 of Stevie Wonder's songs in the key of life.
That is literally what DNA would be.
Right?
These songs in the key of the building blocks of life.
Fucking meta times meta on top of... I assume I would go blind.
Once, twice, 3 times a helix.
That is Lionel Richie, which is...
No, it's not. It's not. Is it?
What?
No, it
Is
is.
it the
You're right.
Commodores?
I'm sorry. It is Lionel Richie. I'm sorry. Sorry. Oh, I know what it'd be like. All nucleus long. All nucleus. All nucleus long.
Yes, you are. That is correct.
Say-
That is correct.
Zoophytology.
So I don't know about you, but I'm totally jealous of plants. They just hang around all day, soaking up sun. They don't ever get hungry because they take sun and they convert it into glucose and oxygen, as we learned.
You
But-
want to be a plant.
I'm just saying that photosynthesis is pretty sweet.
What would you be? A cactus?
What kind of plant?
A fern?
I mean, obviously I'm prickly and unpleasant to be around, but if you distill me, then I get you high.
You'd be a weed plant, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of similarities between you and plants. Neither you move very much.
True.
You require a lot of attention or you die.
True.
You hurt everyone who touches you.
Hells yeah. Here's the thing. Photosynthesis is a thing the plants do. Not a thing that most animals do. There are some things, sponges, sea slugs, that kind of thing. There is, however, for the first time, scientists have discovered the spotted salamander, a vertebrate, the first vertebrate we've ever found that can soak up the sun and literally turn it into energy.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
It's pretty fucking sweet. Essentially, what happens is when they are teeny tiny and they're little eggs, they lay their eggs in swampy kind of water where there's algae, and the algae just sort of like works its way in there, which they thought like, okay, it's sort of symbiotic. Like if you take the algae out, then those embryos have a harder time coming to fruition. They're growing
reaching
up.
maturity. Yeah, whatever. Exactly. Surviving. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what they did is they put a little carbon-14 in there so they could trace what was actually going on. And it wasn't just that they were just hanging out near those cells. They're actually becoming part of the cells. And when light shone on them, and what happened is the algae would convert that light into glucose that then would feed the little embryo. So I don't believe that they do a whole lot of actual photosynthesizing once they grow all the way up, because then, like, if there was any algae left, it would be on the inside and wouldn't be exposed to the light. But for a time, they're legitimately photosynthesizing creatures.
So if I walked around covered in algae, I wouldn't have to eat food?
Essentially what I'm saying,
You'd
yes.
have way more energy.
Yes.
Does anybody have any algae I can borrow right now?
There are pools nearby. Just take a dive. They probably haven't been cleaned, very often.
Oh, you mean the LA City pools?
Yes.
Yeah,
Those are the
exactly.
ones.
Oh, actually, the tar pits are right over there. You could take a swim.
No.
Take a swim through the.
That's how so many saber-toothed tigers met their demise. Hey, dude,
On a
check
dare.
it out over there. There's algae
Oh, there's
in
totally
there.
algae in there, dude.
You know what? It's so funny because like algae is always the science fiction answer to any problem.
It's not science fiction. Science answer.
I understand that we're currently discussing science fact, but I'm taking a bit of a small tangent to be like, it's like in the Matrix, like we eat this weird algae, or like in Battlestar Galactica, like, oh, thank God we found this algae planet. Now we can all eat all this algae.
Right.
Though it is high in vitamins and minerals, and algae is like one of the most compact foods that we have.
Nutritionally speaking.
Look, I understand that algae has a lot of benefits. It's a high energy content. The fact that you can grow it in 3 dimensions. I mean, that's the thing. Like with the cornfield, I mean, I understand that it is technically in 3 dimensions, but you need a lot of length and width. You need a lot of land for it. You can grow algae up, which is awesome. Like,
Big old skyscrapers full of algae, son.
yeah, if you had a skyscraper full of algae, it would take up a lot less space
man,
than a cornfield would.
Live like a king.
In
I would
algae
have
towers?
all the women.
I would be so energetic, you guys.
First you get the algae tower, then you get the women.
I hear
Welcome
the
to
original-
Algae Towers. If you don't like it, you're fired. All I'm saying is, algae is the hackiest substance on Earth. That's all I'm saying, guys.
In 30 years, when we're all eating delicious algae cakes, and you're outside just kicking sand, just going, guys, come on, guys, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Come on, let me have an algae cake.
Hiding from the
There's
mutants.
nothing else to eat.
From the fallout from Armageddon.
The Sencars.
Then
are
you'll be
coming. Come
sorry.
on, let me in, you guys.
The mutant centaurs.
No, Sencars.
I would rather die than eat that tripe. Is all I'm saying.
Wait a minute. Do we rather die than eat tripe or that tripe?
No, tripe is delicious, but
I
that
could just
tripe
see-
is awful.
I get to see us in the future playing back this podcast to you while you're outside hiding from the mutants.
You guys, it was a joke. No, it wasn't.
Doesn't
Guys,
sound like you're kidding to me.
I will have died in the initial culling. There's no rank-tank survival team for Asterios Kokkinos. I'm one of those guys where it's just like, oh yeah, he made a loud noise, and the mutants found him. They found him on day 0.
Before
Making
even
Donald
Rampage
Trump
even
jokes,
started.
and the mutants did not think they were very funny.
Hey, mutants, you want a pod race?
Hey, mutants, you're fired! Kill.
Your Republic algae credits are no good here.
Let me see your birth certificate. Dead.
What I found out, in addition to the salamander, because there actually are other creatures that sort of do this sort of thing.
Really?
Turns out there's a hornet that actually turns solar power into electricity in its body. They actually, because they're like alternating pieces of its shell, its carapace exoskeleton, that are different colors.
Yeah, we were all going to call you on carapace. Yeah, we had our knives out.
Oh, no,
I remember before this, we were like, I can't wait for him to fuck up
Please,
the word
You were
carapace.
coming at
Shove
me
it down
for
for it.
DS9. I just
And
assumed
I'll
that
still
you're
come
ready
at
to-
you for Deep Space Nine. Question number 2. How many Daxes have there been?
Oh, how many total? Because
Yes.
there were only 2 on the show.
Dax Shepard.
Jadzia and
That's right,
Ezra.
Dax Shepard is one of them. Yeah.
I know my fucking sci-fi.
That's great. That's awesome. All of a sudden, they put the symbiote into Dax Shepard, and he's like, whoa, man, I've got the accumulated knowledge
That was
of
the
11 people, dude.
DS9 was the prequel to Parenthood, right?
I'm pretty sure it was. Both beloved for different reasons.
So this wasp is a solar cell in itself.
It's a hornet, and it's got these alternating brown and yellow cuticles. They actually made a solar cell based on it just to see if it actually worked, and it totally did work.
That's pretty. So it's not just using the sun for heat. It's actually turning the sun rays into electricity.
Electricity that they think
That's awesome.
It might use to power enzymes. It might help to keep it a cool temperature, like by converting the heat into electricity. And they also found that if they anesthetize the hornets, as you do, if they shined ultraviolet light on them, they would wake up quicker and then just get the fuck out of Dodge.
Suddenly-
God damn it.
That's awesome.
These are terrifying hornets.
Yes, they
So
are.
you're saying electric hornets.
Powered by the sun.
Solar-powered electric hornets are roaming the earth. Oh, my God.
Yeah, fuck your killer bees, man. This shit is digital.
That's something Doctor
our,
Who would have to fight.
our solar
The electric
panels.
hornets of Hornton.
Fuck you.
Somebody
for not
get
knowing
Moffat
Doctor
on the
Who.
phone. We've got a pitch for you, Stephen Moffat.
It's kind of based on science. I'll say that in the pitch.
It's time for a quiz.
It's time for a quiz. As you know, we are trying out something new with the quiz. Asterios fucked up the first one, 100% his fault. So we thought we would try and make it a little more robust to prevent Asterios from ruining it, not just for us, but for everybody listening.
I'm not confident we can prevent him from ruining it.
You know
I got
what?
a lot of tweets.
We're scientists.
telling me that I ruined the quiz.
After the first episode, have you gotten some feedback?
I've gotten a lot of tweets. I've gotten a lot of Facebook comments.
Some of the
a lot of
Asterios are even turning against you.
Yeah, you know what? The Asterios Google Plus page went from 5 users to 3.
No,
Yep.
no, that's a 40% drop. I feel bad because I mean I don't want to restrict your trade. I don't want people
one
to stop
does.
coming to your shows
And
because
yet-
you did such a bad job.
Look,
Are you ready to
I'm
amend
going to
your ways?
redeem myself. Let's
All
do
right.
this.
We are 5 for 5 in the first half of the quiz, and now we're back in episode 2 with 5 more questions that we are going to try to attempt to answer together. First question, number 1. TNT is a well-known explosive. It stands for A. Trinitrotoluene, B. Tetranitrotoluene, C. Trinitrotriglycerine, or C. Tert nitrotetramine.
I think it's trinitrotriglycerin.
I'm going to go with C on that one as well.
And it was invented by Alfred Nobel.
Who got a Nobel Prize for it?
Yeah, he gave himself. He was like, this'll help the coyote kill that roadrunner. And now to mint myself a medal. That medal, by the way, don't light the fuse attached to it.
I was going to say it was made of Nobel gases.
That's true.
Both things are true.
All right. Question 2. Which of the following is not an element? Copernicum. Copernicium?
Yeah.
How do you say that?
It's not. That's
is
not.
it a
That's
soft
the
C?
fake one. So there's no real way to pronounce it. That's the fake one.
B. Holmium. C. Kryptonite. 3. Berkelium.
Berkeley.
Damn it.
I think it's B. Holmium. I don't think that's an element.
You would be wrong.
I know kryptonite isn't
Yeah,
An
kryptonite
element?
is an element.
is
Yep.
an element.
Yep.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is.
Kryptonite is the fictitious element that comes from Krypton that makes Superman weak.
Yeah,
It's
but
also an element of the periodic table.
It is not.
Yeah,
Don't
it
you
is.
look that up? Asterios, do not look that up.
I'm
Or are
looking
you
it
just
up
looking
real
up
quick.
porn?
I'm
You're looking
looking
up
up-
porn? No.
We're
We got
going
to
with
answer
B.
the question,
We're
then you
going
can
with
look it up.
B. Holmium.
Oh, I do not in any way, shape, or form agree with that. It is C.
All right. Well, you.
All right, let's go with C. No, I
No.
think he's actually right. It's not an element.
God damn it! Are you fucking with me?
No.
Maybe.
It is a noble. I believe it's a noble gas.
100%.
Kryptonite isn't, or krypton, or.
Or keep going.
All right. Let's see.
No. What is the answer?
Kryptonite is the answer.
Of course, it's kryptonite.
No, but Krypton is an element.
Krypton is the planet that Superman is from.
Okay, here's the Wikipedia
What is
article. Krypton, a colorless gas exhibiting
Yeah.
a whitish glow and a high electric field. It's number 36 on the periodic
It is
table and is a
Krypton.
noble gas.
Okay, that I'll let you.
Yeah, I was confused because, well, Krypton and Kryptonite, I suppose, are different. Well, it seems like they tricked us a little bit.
Well, that's the point.
Well, congratulations. I hope whoever wrote this quiz is very happy for themselves. they changed the last 2 letters of an element and tricked us
The
all.
last 3.
Whatever. If I was good at counting, I probably would have been better at science, too.
Okay, here's one. Number 3. Which of these pure elements would be dangerous to hold in the palm of your hand? A. Sodium. B. Zinc. 3. Sulfur. 4. Gallium.
When sodium comes into contact with water, doesn't it explode?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
So
And
that might be dangerous.
I'm made of 90% water. Even
Well,
more
now
when
you-
I'm at Splish Splash. Splish
that
Splash
an
is
actual place?
it's a water park on Long Island. You've never been to Splish Splash?
I have never.
Long
been to
Island's
Island.
greatest water park. You've never heard of this place?
How many water parks does Long Island have?
I don't know. It's pretty long.
It rhymes with fun, and it is a fun place. All right.
Although sulfur smells like rotten eggs, so that might be dangerous.
Yeah,
to
but
hold
your
in
hand exploding is probably more than that.
I'll go for sodium.
Let's go for sodium.
Go for sodium. That's how sodium answers the phone.
Correct.
Go for sodium.
Go for sodium.
Guys, we're 8 for 8. I really like this is a new format where we get everything right. Number 4 or 9. A deficiency of vitamin C may result in a medical condition known as scurvy.
That's
you can
right.
avoid getting scurvy by eating fruits with vitamin C, also known as A, niacin, B, carbonic acid, C, ascorbic acid, or 4, citric acid.
I'll go for citric acid, I assume.
Vitamin C,
Ooh.
it might be niacin.
I was under the impression that ascorbic acid was the same as citric
Wait,
acid.
I think he... Oh, boy. We are in a fuckhole here. All right. I'm going to... You know what? I think citric acid is the obvious answer because we assume that, it's a citrus
It's
fruit.
a citric fruit.
Right.
And we know it has vitamin C. Niacin is a vitamin, but I don't know if it's the same as vitamin C.
It is not. It's a B vitamin.
Uh-huh. That sounds right.
I would say citric acid, perhaps because ascorbic acid is something very similar, but maybe not specifically vitamin C.
Probably not exactly the same thing as citric acid, because then they wouldn't have a different name for it.
I thought we used ascorbic acid to clean rocks. I might be thinking of another kind of acid.
Maybe.
What kind of acid
Clean
did
a lot
that?
more rocks than I do.
Well, my tumbler needs to tumble. I didn't buy a rock tumbler to not shine these rocks, guys.
Tumbler's got to tumble, yo. Fuck.
Which of these acids did that mobster throw in Harvey Dent's face? Was it citric acid? Is that why Two-Face
Yes.
doesn't have scurvy?
a bunch of fucking oranges.
Then he would have just been like, "Oh, my face smells lemony now."
The reign of terror of lemony face all over Gotham. A lemon they put it with a bunch of lemons and
Half his
robbed the
face
bank.
smells great. The other half smells like lemons.
Oh, and they called him Mr.
Old
Pledge.
two smells. Okay, that answer was not correct.
What was the answer, though?
The correct answer is ascorbic acid.
Oh, boy.
Well,
No wonder my
I'm
rocks
just-
aren't clean. I've
I
been
think
using
it
the wrong
adds
answer.
legitimacy that we did not get one of these correct. Otherwise, we're just spinning wheels here.
Hold on. Let me give you the right answer so you can edit it in. I'm pretty sure it's ascorbic acid.
Shut up, Asterios. What the fuck do you know?
I'm sorry. I hope I'm later proven right.
We got it correct because of Asterios.
Hooray! Let's give him money. Great idea, Chan.
Who said that?
I did. I'm Robert Chan.
Sounds like me. Sounds like something I would say.
Okay.
Last question.
Last question, number 10. We are 8 for 9 so far. And the last question is, which of these elements is not a noble gas? A,
All right, you guys.
neon.
You guys.
Yeah.
Let's fucking get this, okay?
Okay.
Okay?
B, A is neon. B, bromine. C, krypton, otherwise known as kryptonite in some circles.
Dumb circles.
And 4,
There's a place 3 doors down from here that calls it kryptonite.
or D.
No.
You laughed.
No.
We're going there
No.
after this
No, I was
podcast. We're going to
coughing.
go hang out.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
not
right.
think-
And D, or argon.
Bromine.
I think it's bromine also.
I think it's bromine. Bromine.
The frat
Come at me, bromine. Don't
What's
tase
up,
me,
bromine?
Oh, I don't want to say that. I'm so tired. Is there a filter you can put on this to make me funnier? I'll take it.
We actually edit these episodes to make us look really funny and the guests look stupid.
Yeah.
Hey, that wasn't nice of you to put that sound effect there. What's wrong with you guys? I'm
How did you know
Aster-
that we were going to do that in post?
I'm Asterios. I love terror. Hey, did you guys just edit? Did you guys just edit a bunch of words of mine from before? To make it sound. You guys are awful. I love making out with dogs. Guys, stop it.
And after 10 questions, we have, with our new cooperative system rather than our competitive system, come up with 9 out of 10.
Here's the beautiful thing about that is, collectively, we're still not as smart as me who actually got all 10 questions once.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, I agreed with you really hard. Do you think that was easy?
You're the one who thought Krypton wasn't an element in the re-edit that I'm going to make.
Yeah. You thought Krypton was an element.
Dummy. Okay, that's the end of our quiz.
That's our show.
And that's our show.
Yeah! We're being told to stall for time.
Oh, no, I was saying you might want to do another take, because when you started talking, I was going like, right into the microphone.
Asterios needs to chomp chips right now while we're trying to do our outro.
Why would you put your mouth next to the microphone in the first place?
I like to hear myself eat. It's adorable for me and horrifying for you.
Thank you very much to Asterios Kokkinos, founder, purveyor of AsteriosKokkinos.com.
That's right.
And eponymous star of AsteriosKokkinos.com.
Yeah.
That's right. And you can spell it AsteriosKokkinos.com, which is for commercial. Give me money, guys.
Money.
Go to AsteriosKokkinos.com, go to Twitter.com/Asterios, and read the comics and comedy magazine that I'm an editor of. It's called The Devastator, and you can learn more about it at GetDevastated.com.
I'm going to. How about you?
I am, certainly.
Sounds like you guys aren't going to at all.
Absolutely, I will be.
I'm headed there as we speak.
You guys could at
I
least...
am on my smartphone right now looking
I'm
up
Googling Get Devastated.
I can see both of your hands. One of you is holding a pretzel, and the other one is grabbing a chunk of his own fat. Now, please, gentlemen, if you're going to lie to me, wait until I can't see you.
This chunk of fat encoded with past issues of The Devastator.
Oh,
That's how much I'm committed.
You subscribe. Oh, you're so
Yeah,
nice,
subscribe to the
Let's
DNA
get our
only
microscopes
version.
out and read it.
All right, get out your microtome. Let's slice off a slice-a-chan.
You can find us online at ScienceJerks.com, TheScienceJerks.com. We bought both of them because we're balling. We are straight ballers, y'all.
We are rolling in .coms.
You can find our Twitter at TheScienceJerks.com because we're not balling enough to get ScienceJerks.com as well.
We're not doing that. The Science Jerks on Facebook. Email us at Dave at the Science Jerks. Chan at I'm sorry. Dave at ScienceJerks.com. Chan at ScienceJerks.com.
Oh, yeah, I haven't made those new ones yet.
Yep.
So, yeah, that.
Do you guys have complaints at ScienceJerks.com?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
We have corrections and complaints at ScienceJerks.com.
And if you send those, they will go nowhere, which is what would have happened anyway. So
That's great.
enjoy that.
I'll see them and delete them immediately.
You should just have an auto-response.
Do you have a complaint? You can just tell us now.
No, but I think it'd be funny if you guys had like an autoresponder where it's like if you send an email to complaints at ScienceJerks.com, it's just a picture of both you giving the finger.
That
Oh,
might
that
be
is
something we
amazing.
could put together.
It would not be hard.
Oh, wow. Done and done.
Oh, yeah. Look for that in an upcoming episode.
I'm at 999 RPMs on Twitter.
I'm at Dave Chacho, and that's our time with Asterios. We made it through. It was
made
a
it through the
marathon
wilderness.
session.
Somehow we made it through.
And I feel like we're all weaker, worse people for it.
Somewhat closer to death.
Thanks, guys.
I think our listeners are smarter than
Marginally,
most.
like incrementally.
Okay, well, that's
statistically,
something.
yes, there is a little nudge there that suggests that they have read book, but that does not make them smart.
Listen, I have the perfect test of whether or not they're smart.
Go on.
If they're still listening, they're pretty dumb.